10 deaths are registered in India every minute. 3 murders are reported every hour, and yet few capture the country's imagination like this one. 11 people of one family found dead, hanging in their home on the outskirts of New Delhi. Was it mass suicide or murder? The chilling question still hangs in the air. Let me warn you that the details are disturbing. We're not showing you pictures. Of the 11 bodies, 10 were blindfolded and gagged, their hands tied behind their backs. They were found hanging from an iron mesh in the hallway of their home. An elderly woman was found dead on the floor in another room. What deepens the mystery is a note. It was found in the house, apparently left by one of the family. Police call it, quote-unquote, an evidence of mystical practices by this family. Could this, quote-unquote, definite spiritual and mystical practices part be a link to these deaths? We don't know. The autopsy reports of 6 bodies show no signs of struggle. Did they do it willingly? The investigation is still on, and as things stand now, we have more questions on this incident than answers. First of all, the elderly woman in the other room was strangled. If it was indeed a suicide pact, why was she murdered? Did a family member kill them all and then later commit suicide? We don't know. Why was the main door of the house open? If it was murder, did the killers have a free passage, or was it part of the occult ritual to leave the doors open? The CCTV shows nobody entering. None of the neighbors heard the pet dog bark. Was an outsider involved at all? Relatives say that they did not see this coming. It was a family like any other, they say. If it was indeed a suicide pact, what could be the pressing reason for them to commit something so drastic? The police rule out robbery. Nothing was stolen. There were no signs of a forced entry. Why were the hands and legs of the deceased tied up if it was suicide? Why were the ears plugged and eyes taped? Among the dead were 2 teenagers and a young girl who got engaged only 2 weeks back. Were they forced into this? As shocking as this case is, it isn't a first. Such incidents of self-sacrifice and occult rituals going wrong have been reported in the past from all over the world. And they have time and again triggered a debate on what blind faith leads to.
Jim Jones was founder of the People's Temple Church. He and more than 900 followers committed mass suicide in Guyana in November 1978 by consuming cyanide. 300 of those administered cyanide were children. The Catholic Archdiocese of Boston was blamed for covering up the sexual abuse of minors by priests for many years. The cover-up was exposed by a group of reporters from the Boston Globe in 2002. Cult leader Charles Manson ran a quasi-commune in California in the late 1960s. He had actress Sharon Tate murdered in 1969 and was linked to 34 other killings. He was convicted and remains in prison, and he has been denied parole 12 times so far. SHOKO ASAHARA founded the Japanese doomsday cult Aum Shinrikyo. It was responsible for the sarin gas attack in the Tokyo subway in 1995 that killed 13 people. ASAHARA was found guilty and sentenced to death along with 12 followers. They remain on death row.